Move your finger. That would have crushed him. His whole weekend would have been crushed if his finger would have been in front of the picture, the frame. Good afternoon. Welcome to the 49th Annual Oktoberfest Race Weekend of the Badger Stay Clean Water and Air Race Report. I'm Radio Man Dan Dyker, along with me, Billy Knock-Niles. Paul Reichert is roaming around doing some photography things for us. The ARCA Midwest Tour PR Director Kevin Ramsel is going to be joining us throughout the program as well. And I want to welcome in the people that are not only listening on 1460 WBOG and CoolGold1460.com. They've got the TuneIn app.
Love that TuneIn app.
Right off the cell phones. And we're also streaming live on KQEGTV.com. Our TV show
Get on there.
Is on at the same time. You know, before we get into breaking down what's happened Thursday and Friday here at Fest, what's coming up here on Saturday, what's coming up on Sunday, our two guests have never, ever not appeared on this program during Oktoberfest. 8 straight years of the first two guys we like to get out here because when you talk about Oktoberfest, they are the ones that people look back when you talk about history. And we would like to welcome in Marv Marzofka and Tom Refner. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us 8 years in a row now.
Good to see you guys. Welcome back.
We're not using sign language. There you go.
Thank you, guys.
How you been?
Pretty good. I'm not going to complain. It could be a lot worse, and at least we're having some halfway decent weather this year. A lot better than it was last year. A lot better.
And Marv, I think I've ran into you more times just this year than I have over the past 11.
It seemed like every time I went to the race there, that joker was.
You know, Kevin wanted to fire off a question because we had some folks when we had you on last year. We were talking about the Super America in the 3 cars. And some folks were kind of confused as to the culmination of that. And Kevin wanted to kind of set it out there for folks.
On a combination of those 3 cars, I'm going to give it to Tom Refner. He was one of them. So.
Yeah, Tom, I think a lot of people may or may not know that you and Dick Trickle did share a shop together in Wisconsin Rapids. And he was putting the Super America deal together. And you just happened to be at the right place at the right time, weren't you?
Yeah, and, well, Don Engelbrecht, advertising manager for Super America. I had run up to Elko quite a bit, so had Marv, and we all did good up there. And then I was in the shop with Dick, and he came over. Dick was already sponsored by Super America, and Don Engelbrecht and I started talking a little bit, and Don says, well, would you want some help from Super America? And I said, yes, yeah, that would be great. And he said, okay. So then he went and got Dick. Dick wasn't too happy about this, but he said, Dick, you're going to have to let Tom gas his truck up whenever you gas your truck up. And Dick was frowning a little bit, and Don, no, I mean it, Dick. You have to call him up. And Dick did. He really did. And once that happened, and then that year all I had was not all. That's a lot. I mean, when you get gas for your truck and you're going all over, that was a lot of sponsorship. And all I carried was a sticker then. And then the next year he made me a full-fledged Super America Knight.
And that's when you became the Blue Knight, Johnny Bogelman became the Black Knight, Trickle became the White Knight.
Yeah, that was the next year in 1975.
Well, he started out as the Purple Knight, though, didn't he?
Well, yeah, he was. You're correct, 100% correct. He started out with a Purple Knight in 1975, and then in 1976 he switched.
Well, yeah, he switched to the White Knight. Yeah.
He wanted a black, a white, and he didn't care what the other. As long as I was blue, it was okay. But Dick says, "Well, I'm not being the Black Knight," and that was another story that Don he pushed that one on poor old John Begeman. John was a good guy. He never ran into anybody, and Don thought that's a good guy to be the. He said, "People don't really care if people are complaining about you or not, as long as they're talking about you." And Don says. John said to Don, they were good friends, Don and John. They're the ones that started. John had the Super America sponsorship first.
Yeah.
Because they lived over there together and were good friends. And Don knew he could depend on John to do it without complaining too much.
Yeah, and to this day, that's still one of the more popular racing trivia questions around. Was who was the Black Knight? Because everybody knew you as a Blue Knight, and Trickle as a Purple or White Knight. So who was the Black Knight? That Johnny Bogeman is always a tricky answer to come up with.
Yeah, John is a good driver and a fast driver, but he ran like once or twice a week, except unless when he came over with us guys. And then he got thrown in with the Lions. But he ran good, and he won his championship in Minnesota at Elko. I don't know how many championships there, but he ran real well over there. Marv, do you want to say anything about John?
I was going to ask Marv, was it real tough when you saw the Knights show up at the track?
I had to go every night with these Knights. So. John Bogerman was a very good driver. He's very cautious, and he didn't boot nobody, so we got along with him just fine. We was happy that he was the other night, not somebody who would booger around a little.
Right. Well, no, nobody does that. Well, and it's funny you say that because Tom and I, we talked a couple of years ago. We had some really aggressive racing going on at Oktoberfest, and I had posed the question to Tom, and I'll pose it to Marv as well. You didn't have that back in the day because Tom had said you guys were almost under a gentleman's rule.
Even Mark Martin said that last year.
Exactly.
We were. We didn't push nobody aside to get past. We passed, and if you weren't all the way past, there might be a little rubbing going on then. But,
right.
But we had a gentleman's agreement, and we all got along. Some of us had to work the next day all the time, so 5-6 nights in a row, you had to be careful.
And that's when we were with Mark Martin at WIR last year. Mark had said the same thing. These guys knew we had to run 4, 5, 6 nights in a row. So what's the sense of banging? Yeah, with one car, no backups, parts are going to be sparse no matter where you go. What's the sense of just punting somebody because you just knocked them up for the week?
Yes, and that was a mandatory thing that we didn't wreck each other. And we looked out for each other really good that way. And I would like to talk about Larry Deachens because Larry, he took us one step farther on this. He was the first one to start doing it when we would get side by side and the guy that had come up side by side to make, going for the position, and you'd come up on a lap car, then he backed off. He was the first guy to start that. And he didn't back off. Whoever, you get knocked out of position, because of the lap car. Well, then he waited till the guy got right back up beside him again, and then we started racing again. And once we all see Larry doing that, we had to do it. He was shaming us if we didn't.
Tom Ruffner and Marv Marzofka joining us segment number one on the Badgers Stay Clean Water and Air Race Report here on 1460 WBOG. Before we let you go, Tom, it is going to be one of the biggest honors of my entire racing announcing career on Sunday tomorrow when I get to announce Tom Ruffner coming out of Turn 4. Are you looking forward to getting back in a race car?
The javelin, too, isn't it?
Yes, I am. It's going to be great. I just hope that I don't disappoint a lot of people. We practiced last Saturday.
You could run backwards and people would still stand and applause for you.
I know, maybe some of them. But I thank them so much for being my fans. But I just hope I do okay. And the car is a little bit uncomfortable, but I think I'll do okay. So.
Now, Marv, are you spotting for Tom?
I just can't wait to see him out there. It's going to be good. Hey, no, I'm not working on his car.
What would it take to get you in your tribute car?
A winch.
I would like to say that Mike Miller is on the crew. And if the weather,
boy. We need to get him in here.
He was here last Saturday when we practiced, and if the weather is so good, he's up in Minnesota now. I don't remember. He's up near the city somewhere, and he's coming down tomorrow to be on the crew. So
nice.
Hopefully he makes it. He said if the weather isn't real bad, he's coming. So
alrighty,
people get to see him. I hope he'll come to the autograph session and do some autographs, and I think he will too.
Tom Ruffner, Marv Marzofka, great friends of the radio program. I'm glad we got him on TV this time as well. And we're going to take a break, but we're going to bring a gentleman in to talk more about the Dick Trickle Memorial Project that is coming near completion. And I know you guys have been a big part of that as well. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Don's going to join us with Tom and Marv and Billy Knockniles and Kevin Ramsel. And I think Paul's going to feed us during the break. We're coming right back on 1460 WBOG and KQEGTV.com.
Nice job,
right.
guys.
That's a great story.
That's
talking and not, no, thank you. I usually get so embarrassed.
You need to grab another chair.
Oh no, that was great.
I'm sorry. I thought I needed the Dewey part.
Yeah, Marv, you're the only person we'll ever let call somebody a winch on the radio.
I thought he was going to say a whole lot more beer than what you guys got. Mark, we've changed our ways, haven't we? We got old.
Thanks a lot, Tom.
We'll put him here. Tom, thank you very much, sir. Did you want a piece of pizza or some wings before you go? Okay.
How's Sear doing?
Hey, we got about a minute.
He is.
Let me see what those look like.
Did you put on your headset so we can get a mic check quick?
Zero was 16, Bobo was 18. Time of Jessica at 18.7. Nick Merger was second with a 19.0.
Wow. Check me. Don, give him a.
Yes. 1, 2, 3.
Keep talking.
1,
just
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Test. End of test.
Okay.
You turn me down. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to go 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to have 4 segments to really rip through those. Okay. Turn my volume down.
The heck is.
Hey, Kevin. Guess who phoned me in the campground last night?
Same one that woke me up twice calling me, and that was just hitting delete.
Was it apologies galore?
I didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, of course not.
Hey guys.
Welcome back, AM 1460 WBOG, CoolGold1460.com, and WBOG on the TuneIn app.
Love that TuneIn app.
Badger Steak, Clean Water, and a Race Report being brought to you by Big Boar Barbecue in West Salem and La Crosse, Tomo Sporta Speedway, Dean's Satellite, DansArena.com, the Overtime Pub and Grill, and the Pizza Oven. Got to thank Rick. He dropped off, Kevin, 5 pizzas and a whole bunch of wings.
I'm sorry, did you say something? I'm getting some wings.
Yeah, he's going to get the sticky fingers, and I got Don over here protecting me too. Don, if he gets out of hand eating, just throw a pan over at him.
I'd rather steal a wing.
Oh, here you
Oh,
go.
well, you can have it. We've got 3. We've got
I'll have
the
some later.
buffalo. We've got the garlic parmesan. We've got the barbecue, and of course 5 fantastic.
Smell
I know,
that.
smells
Oh,
good.
that smells good.
Oh, it's time for a nap already.
You just lost Diker.
5 different kinds
our
of
goals,
pizzas
we hit our gold, Bill.
being brought to you by Pizza Oven. Want to again thank Tom Ruffner and Marv Marzofka joining us in the program as they've done in the past. And we're going to give a little bit more time now to talk about the Dick Trickle Memorial Project. I know Billy and I have been involved in a lot of helping you guys promote, at least
Surely
we try
have.
to,
Surely have.
on radio and TV throughout the years. And we thought we would bring in Don Lee Struck to give us an update on how things are going. I tell you what, the window of opportunity is slowly closing, my friend, but the donations are coming in, and I'm really, really anxious to go up there and do this show from the grand opening of the Dick Trickle Memorial.
We're pushing hard to bring that about as soon as we can. If folks aren't totally familiar, this concept started in January 2014. Gary Erickson, who grew up with Dick and a little bit younger than Marv and Tom, they went to high school together, and after Dick's untimely passing, Gary got together with Marv and Tom, and they visited with Dick's brother Chuck out in Las Vegas, and that's where the idea of the Dick Trickle Memorial was born. I came on board in about March or April, and we really got serious about the fundraising, and we established a website. Tom had already set up a Facebook page, And I believe we're over 4,500 members on that right now.
It's huge.
It's a good media to get the word out.
And you guys do a really good job on that page of keeping people informed of how the project is coming along.
And also very transparent as well, too.
Oh, God, yeah. Tom puts the financials on every month.
On Facebook, yeah. You know, Kevin, you and I have talked about this memorial here in the past, and, of course, covering all the auto racing industry as long as you have. Have you ever seen a push like this where it's not just the state of Wisconsin that's helping to get this thing put together, but it's a nationwide effort?
You really haven't seen that kind of push whatsoever. I mean, of course, you know, you go down to Kannapolis, you'll see a statue of Dale Earnhardt, which is pretty easy to do and things like that, but because he was a national treasure. And we look at Dick Trickle as a national treasure, but as a short track national treasure, not like on a NASCAR treasure as well with it. And I think that's one of the neatest things to have is that when this memorial is done, this is going to be a real young drivers or young people today are going to get a good visual of what this guy was like. All of us here, we got to meet him, we got to know him personally. Dan and I, we still tear up when we see the pictures that him and I took together with him. The inside stories we all know about him. It's going to be a very emotional thing for us who knew him when it gets completed, and it's going to be a great history lesson for those who did not have a chance to meet him to know who he was.
I think that's real important. I had the good fortune of being a youngster, a kid, back in Rudolph, Wisconsin in the 1950s and 60s when Marv and Tom and Dick started their racing careers, riding my bicycle past the Trickle blacksmith shop and watch those guys hammer out those first cars, and Tom with his first cars, how these guys put them together. They'd go to a salvage yard or they'd buy somebody's wrecked car, and I mean they built them from the frame up. And,
wow.
And I mean it was something to watch, and I think I was blessed to be able to be a kid and grow up in that environment.
And because you're blessed, you're the one that's taking on all this kind of responsibility now.
I guess
Tom Repner said, "Hey, I'm just a mechanic. I just build cars. I can't do this stuff." So that's what they've got done for.
Well, be careful.
And you do
be careful what you
job.
volunteer for. Yeah. I learned that in the Army, but not well.
Hey, Don, I got to ask you. I think I know what the answer is. But what was your reaction when you saw Dale Jr. wearing the famous Trickle Racing shirt at the Chicagoland race on NBC?
Well, about the second or third thing we did, we got on the phone and said, somebody go to the trailer and dig out a couple of Dick Trickle Memorial shirts, and we got to get them. And I mailed them off to Junior because I wanted him to enhance his wardrobe on.
And right after that, Facebook melted with people wanting to buy those shirts.
People were asking me. I had the one that you guys gave me to wear for Victory Lane interviews last night. People were asking me, "Can I go up there and buy this shirt?" I said, "I don't know if you can buy it, but you can order it."
Right. We've got some available yet, Tom, I believe, and we're taking orders.
And again, those proceeds, like everything else you guys have done, Tom's not pocketing this money. You're not going to take this money home. It's all going to the foundation.
And we've raised, safe to say, $200,000 for the project, haven't we, Tom?
Nice.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's basically the grassroots fans and friends of Dick and of all the racers. This is for the racing community too.
Yes.
It's a tribute to the Marvs and the Toms and the Larrys and the Mikes. It's a tribute to them. That's why I got involved, because these guys were so important to me.
And it's not just fans. I mean, some very influential friends in the racing industry. You've got checks from Kenny Wallace and Mark Martin and Rusty Wallace, people who were friends with Dick who raced with him, that went on to big time careers. They're helping out also.
Yeah, and we want to tap that resource, and that's a tough nut to crack.
Yeah.
I mean, these folks they're hammered. They're hammered every day. I want this, I'd like that, and all this, and I mean, they're really tough to get a hold of and get into. They've got gatekeepers, and the gates are pretty darn strong. I'll tell you that right now. That's been what I consider my biggest personal challenge, is overcoming that, and it's tough. But the fans, the grassroots people, I got to say, they've done 90% of the contributing, and
wow,
$100 here or 50 there. That's where it comes from.
Got about 4 minutes left of this segment. What is the latest update on the Dick Trickle Memorial? Where are we at right now?
It's safe to say that we are at least 70% completed with the hands-on actual construction. All the concrete. A week ago today, Friday, yes, we poured the last piece of concrete. That was the pedestal for the statue. We poured that. We threw 41 bags of sackcrete into a mixer and mixed it in an hour and 35 minutes. That's not bad for a bunch of old dogs.
You guys did that all by hand? You didn't have them
not
truck
that
them
little
in?
bit, not that little bit, because there's a so many yard minimum and money we didn't want to spend. And Tom Refner was the vibrator, and he got it all settled into the forms. And Marv was the transport man, brought the crete in, and
Don isn't telling you that he lifted every one of them bags and poured them in.
Strong back, weak mind.
Yeah, Tom just said for people who may not heard about Tom just screamed that you picked up every one of those bags and lifted them up there. So
and we've only hired 2 contractors to date.
Wow.
We hired the excavator, and he did a lot of in-kind donations, and we hired the stonemasons, and all the rest of the actual construction work was done by our senior group of volunteer workers and us directors. But without our volunteer workers, we wouldn't have turned the first shovelful of dirt yet. I want to tell you, we've got a great resource to go to, retired craftsmen and tradesmen and guys that worked on computers are shoveling dirt and concrete, and just a lot of hard work by a bunch of old guys. Some days I always say it looks a lot like recess at the nursing home.
What is the expected completion date?
Well, I guess that ties into my next statement is we're below the $50,000 goal to completion, and we need donations and funds. And as soon as we get I'm going to throw a number out there about another $40,000, another $40,000, and we're going to lock this baby up and we're going to put her to bed. I mean,
wow.
Nice.
The statue is in the clay form.
Okay.
In La Crosse, Michael Martino is our sculptor. We've got half the site prepared perfectly to grade for the paving. Again, all the concrete is in place, all the stonework is in place. We're placing granite plates with inscriptions. I got to get together with the vinyl artist and get a couple of more of the big 4-foot by 4-foot vinyls configured and printed and in place. And it's coming together. It's coming together, and I don't want to stick my neck in a noose and say, "God dang it, we sure like to unveil a statue at our celebration in May," but if I'm going to wish, that's what I'm going to wish for, and we really, really, really need some nice donations coming in. So if anybody's thought about doing it,
now's the time.
Pull the trigger and do it now in the next few months.
Last question, where can people go to get more information, and where can they go to donate?
We have a website that I'm going to rebuild in a couple of weeks. It'll be under construction when I get back from vacation, and our Facebook page it's just the best darn media we could have there. You can private message Tom or I. You can get a hold of us. Don't worry. If you get on Facebook, we'll reply. We'll get back to you. We'll gladly accept your donations. And that's really, fundraising is a lot harder work than pouring concrete. Take it from this old guy, okay?
Don Lee Stuck with the Dick Trickle Memorial Project. Want to thank him for coming on, giving us the latest updates. Again, we're going to keep following the progress, and we will be taking the TV and radio show up on the road once the project is completed. When we come back, I think we got some more guests lined up. Pizza oven, pizza eat, and some wings, and a whole lot of fun here. The 49th Annual Oktoberfest Race Weekend on 1460 WBOG.
Thanks for all of your help, fellas.
Hey, appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
You're so supportive.
Nice job.
Appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for that, Don.
We couldn't do it without you guys.
Greatly appreciate that. Is that Justin?
No, that's not Justin, no.
No. I was hoping to get Mondyke up here.
Got my snowmobile boots on.
They are on a lunch break. They might be able to get up here. They are on their lunch break right now between 12 and 12:30. So
Mondyke? He's falling asleep back there.
Thanks, Tom. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, gents.
I'll meet you.
Yeah, that was the one I had over here. It's going to be nice and sunny tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah.
Hey, Jess, can you bust those plates open there?
Here, Marv.
We got a plate here, Don. Oh, you got a plate. Okay. Got 3 different kinds sitting up there.
Yes, we have paper and
Cold by the time we get done with the show, you know that.
I'm ready to start eating it.
I am too, but can we pig ourselves out on TV?
Nah, it's not really cool.
You better, Marvin. All right, we got a minute 15. So basically, we're going to have to come back no matter what. We can't.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, no, we're ready to go.
All right, cool.
He's such a worrywart, isn't he?
Yeah. They're gonna just jump on stage randomly.
Okay.
Because then we're gonna go, oh hey, look, we've got visitors. Bring Thompson up, bring Weber up, bring Cassie up.
What am I? Number 3. Here we go. Check.
Huh? No.
Okay, good. Because I wasn't too sure if you guys were pulling the segment.
No, I didn't ask for one.
He'll let you know early next year, though.
Possibly.
Did you see Jesse's reaction to that comment?
Hey, Jesse, I'll bring my chapstick.
All right, we're gonna give updates on Thursday and Friday up until.
Okay.
Right.
Welcome back, 1460 WBOG. It is the Badger Stay Clean Water and Air Race Report on 1460 WBOG. Google1460.com. The TuneIn app is WBOG.
Love that TuneIn app.
There it is. Want to thank Tom Ruffner, Marv Marzofka, Donnie Struck for joining us on the program so far.
You didn't know I was bringing a backup singer today, did you?
Well,
I am not your supreme.
That's because Paul fails miserably at it, so we had to bring in a pro.
I am not your supreme.
Want to thank
but you are my Dawn.
I am not and the gang.
Want to thank Pizza Oven for supplying us with pizza and wings, not only for us to be enjoying here, but our guests are going to be coming up and diving into some of that as well. Kevin Ramsel, the PR director for the ARCA Midwest Tour, joins us.
Oh, we're out of time. Goodbye, Kevin.
Along with Tiny and Doc, who is, next year Doc is going to start getting the label.
Retiring? What?
No, he's going to get the name of the stat man because Paul is going backwards here. It's either going to be Penguin or Tiny in 2019. What do you think?
Oh, you know what I think. I know what he don't like.
Yeah.
Thursday and Friday of Oktoberfest.
I just want a shirt next year.
Thursday and Friday of Oktoberfest are already in the books. We've had some surprise winners. We've crowned a lot of champions here so far. And, boy, I tell you what, it's been a smooth process getting through Thursday and Friday.
Great. Now you just jinx it for Saturday and Sunday, Dan. Thanks a lot. No,
Well,
honestly, it has been a real great Thursday night. 9 features. We got that show done in 3.5 hours. Last night with the Dick Trickle 99 and the Midwest Trucks and the Great Northern Sportsman Series. We got that show done, 3.5 hours last night?
We were out there.
We got it done
9.
just in time, too. Yep. That's a credit to Chuck Deary and the staff and Greg McCarnes. They cut a bunch of stuff out, the kind of pretty much that fluffs the show up.
Yeah, preliminary
went
races,
right to the show. Instead of interviewing top 3, we'd interview the winner. Instead of introducing the whole field, we just put them on the track and
Instead of having heat races, just run right into the features.
Yep, and I heard Chuck talked to Chuck earlier, and he says there's been really no complaints from the fans about it. They know what's happening, and they know what's going on, and they're seeing some great racing on top of it.
Got to get this question in and out of the spectrum right off the bat. Ricky Brooks' presence at Oktoberfest has been felt from night number 1 until now. Holy cow, Dano Collectibles pops. Well, we got guests on stage. Hey, this is Peter from North Star Customs. Hey, these guys created the Oktoberfest winning pictures again for all the drivers. About 3 or 4 years now you guys been doing that.
5 years in a row now, yeah.
5 in a row. And Jamie Hurd from Jano Collectibles. These guys have been supplying the program with all kinds of prizes all throughout the years. Greatly appreciate your help, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Let's see what they got here now.
We got a signed junior autograph and a
Junior autograph car.
We got tickets to give away. And a Kyle Larson signed.
And a Kyle Larson signed car. When you're listening to the program, these guys are down here on the concourse, and they've been doing raffle tickets every single day for some autographed fantastic prizes. Make sure you stop down there and get your name in. And if you're wondering, hey, how do I find out if I win? Jamie's putting it on our radio Facebook and their Facebook pages as well, so you can know that you're a winner out here.
Yep, and you can check back either tonight around 9 o'clock or tomorrow at any time. The ticket will be with the winning piece here. And we got Jeff Thompson, too.
Yeah, Jeff Thompson's over here. Chris Weber's over here. Of course, these guys are sponsored by G&O Collectibles. And Kevin Ramsel wants to know if this autographed car is his parting gift for being on stage here today.
We'll part him out of here.
How's your knee feeling, Bill?
Well, again, we greatly appreciate the partnership you guys have had with us over the years right here. Jeff Thompson, one of my great buddies here. Didn't finish the weekend like you wanted to, but some new things are going to be on the spectrum in 2019. Again, J&O Collectibles right down in the concourse. Stop by. They have everything you want for NASCAR, and they also have kids' toys, Bill.
Oh, well, big kids' toys.
Yeah, big kids' toys.
Oh, look at this, and a big kid shirt,
Oh,
too.
see, this is the apparel you can find. Down, we got to get this on TV. J&O Collectibles right there.
Hey,
These
Bill,
guys
that's our size.
You're not. No, you're not finding out. It's like a comfy blanket.
Oh, man.
Again, stop down. Peter Niekirk with North Star Customs. Get off there. And Jamie Hurd with J&O Collectibles, been a part of the program for many, many years. And we greatly appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Alrighty. Very nicely done. Jeff Thompson, thanks for coming up, my friend.
Look at that drive-by.
And that was good, man. I tell you, you never know who's popping on the program right here. And those guys are just fantastic. That's got to be kind of cool that it happened about 4 years ago. Jamie and his guys have been here for like 20 different Oktoberfests. And Chuck came up to him and knew he was a part of the radio TV program. He said, you know what? I would like to see you construct an Oktoberfest picture for all the winners to have.
Yeah.
That's kind of a neat thing out of Andover, Minnesota, to be able to supply that.
Especially with what happens here at Fest during the after-race parties, that picture comes in perfect, and it's a nice souvenir to take home, along with the hat that you get and the cool trophy
I'm
that you get.
surprised Bubba Pollard didn't catch a cold last year because I saw him sip out of about 7 different pitchers. Again,
we were talking about Ricky Brooks, yeah.
Yeah, Ricky Brooks. His presence was felt immediately Thursday, actually Wednesday.
When he showed up and they checked the cars Thursday morning, and it's safe to say that an abundance of cars had to kind of fix up their teams had to fix up their cars a little bit on Thursday, and then on Thursday night after the Futures race, second place finisher Casey Johnson and Austin Nason were both disqualified for weight infractions. And I told you guys last week on the show, Ricky Brooks sees the rules. It's black and white. There's no gray area with him. And I had a chance to talk to Austin Nason yesterday, and I said, how far over were you on? And he goes, 0.1.
Ooh. We sat in the tower last night. Johnny Sauter wins the Dick Trickle 99. It took them almost 35 minutes to get done teching his car.
Yep, and actually it went back to qualifying.
Yep.
One of the fastest guys in the field, Ty Majeski. They touched that car before he went out to qualify.
The teams were told, Ricky told everybody in the driver's meeting, says after your car goes through tech, none of your team members touch that car until after it qualifies. What we were told is that one of the tech guys who was out on the grid on the quarter mile saw one of Majeski's guys go and push down the front nose of the car before he went out. And that was a big no-no, so he lost one lap of right there. And I think we were told if you did take a second lap, that would have been a new track record as well, too.
Yeah, we heard that right afterwards.
Right after. So he took one lap. So Ty had to come through a last chance race because he did not qualify in the top 15.
It's like Steve Carlson coming through a heat race.
Yes.
Which we saw many times this year.
Yep, exactly. And then Ty ended up finishing second last night in the Dick Trickle. No, it's going to be third last night.
Casey took second.
Casey took second. So Casey got a little redemption from the Futures race on Thursday night.
Real cool thing last night. I don't know if you guys got to realize this or not. As I'm on the stage with Johnny Sauter to present him with the cheese for the Dick Trickle 99, he had a special guest with him on stage last night that brought a lot of tears to a lot of people.
Yep, Vic Getzloff, who was Dick Trickle's crew chief, was there. And Vic and Johnny have become very good friends. He helps Johnny set up his tires and such with him today. So anytime you see Johnny with super late models, usually Vic is not that far behind. One of the cool things back in May at the Joe Shear Classic, after the race, Father Dale Gruba was there, and he was doing his hobby type of thing.
Right.
But after the race, actually Father Gruba says, "Come down to the pits after the race." I said, "Why?" He goes, "I'm baptizing Vic Getzloff." I said, "Really?" And so right at Johnny Sauter's pit after the race, Father Dale Gruba had his full, if you want to call it, uniform on.
Right.
And he brought the holy water with him, and Johnny Sauter was Vic Getzloff's spotter, and Vic Getzloff got baptized at Master National Speedway.
Isn't that cool?
Wow.
All right, we're coming towards the end of the segment. There's still a lot of program to go right here. In 60 seconds, Paul, what are your biggest surprises you've seen in the past 2 days?
Well, Eric Campbell had a strong car in the Great Northern Sports Series Friday night, winning that race. Mike Corvo drove away from James Swan in the Midwest Truck Race Friday night.
That surprised me.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a big surprise.
Billy, your biggest surprise is in 60 seconds.
Yeah, I got to agree with Paul on the Campbell. He had a strong run on Thursday night. I blew her in a little. He should have went 2 for 2. He should have won the Thursday night portion too. But great job by Campbell coming down from Elko Speedway.
I think my 2 biggest surprises, Eric Campbell coming down and doing what he did with the Great Northern Sportsman Series, and Dalton Zier getting punched out of a race last night.
Jeremy McGrath.
And
Griffin McGrath.
John DeAngelis joined him. I was watching them wrench on his car for darn near 2 hours in the pits last night. He put a personal thank you to Greg McCarnes on Facebook today for allowing him to remain in the pits with his team to get that car back together, because he's how many points away from a championship?
Just 2.
That's phenomenal. We're going to talk about the ARCA Midwest Tour points battle when we come back next on 1460 WBOG. You're supposed to clap.
Oh.
Clap, Grandma.
There we go.
I was going to say, should I get my app on and get that golf clap going? Here, let me see if I can do this.
What do we got for time? I'm starving. You're going to see me eat a lot of pizza real fast before I qualify in a short amount of time.
Sounds like we got some extra time. It's like maybe we can go until 1:30 today. So you guys want to go until 1:30?
Get the fuck out.
Like an extra half an hour?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, yeah.
All right, cool. First week.
Well, then we are going to start eating too then.
Yeah. We'll eat on camera.
Yeah.
Hey, did you catch that, Dan?
Yeah.
Dan, did you catch that?
Paul, bring a pizza over.
Okay.
Dan, did you catch that?
And wings. Wings, and we're just going to do it. Yeah, I heard it. I like that.
45 seconds. I'll feed you. Sit back.
All right, sit down, Paul. Bring those wings on.
We're going to go another 10 on this one, okay?
Okay.
right.
And then
I'll leave that up for.
for the next segment. Good, okay?
I want the garlic parmesan ones.
Oh, Jesus, I gotta go.
Yeah, Justin's still.
Because he don't practice?
No, he's not going to be able to make it.
Those are barbecues. Ooh. Here.
Oh,
You can have those.
I can have. Oh yeah, I want those.
I thought Jesse said he was gonna feed us, and look at me grabbing all this stuff here.
We got room for a pizza box right there.
Sit there and want me to. I'm saying that.
That's Billy and me right there.
There we go. Yep.
Oh, that one's got green stuff on it. I don't want that.
Looks like I'm bringing us back here because Diker's got a face full.
I'm ready.
Where's Michael Astic? Where's Michael Astic right over here?
Bring him over here.
Astic!
And we're back, AM 1460 WBOG, and we're on TV.
Yeah, we're on
Seven
TV.
Rivers Racing as well. Paul, hop up for a minute. We're gonna pop a driver on here.
All right.
Guy who's had bad luck in the last month or so.
Michael's been on the radio program several times over the past couple of years, but via a tape recorder, along with radio man Dan Diker, Billy Doc Niles, and the PR director Kevin Ramsel for ARCA. Special guest kind of floating through the exhibition hall.
Yeah, we got some food for you, too.
I see that, yeah.
We have wings and pizza.
My stomach is begging me for food right now.
You made it just in time. Michael
Here's some
Hostek
napkins
joining
for
us on the program. Michael, how are you, my friend?
Well, I've been better, but we showed a lot of speed this weekend just to have engine failure, so kind of put us out for the 200 lap on Sunday, but learned a lot, and, you know, we were kind of having a bad year, and it was kind of icing on the cake, but negative way for an engine to go bad. But
you had an outstanding qualifying run yesterday for Dick Trickle 99. Was running really good in that segment, and all of a sudden, poof, running second too.
Yeah, we were running second. We were actually having electrical issues too. So
is that what put you out of the second segment?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So it was just a bummer. Just kind of car just kind of turned into a dud, and I just knew that it was losing power. So we think that we had a bad alternator that was just draining the battery. But really, all weekend, like, we didn't have any issues. And of course, when we're running second, just it was.
And that's one of the worst parts. You're running second. It's not like you're running 17th.
Yeah, and we actually found from the first segment we were pretty fast at the beginning and then just kind of fell off, but came in with 2 higher tire pressures on the right side and dropped them down immensely. And it felt like we probably would have held on for a top 5, I would say, like, confidently. But, I mean, with all these good drivers, you never really know. So.
One of the questions I want to ask you, we talked about this last segment, was the presence of Ricky Brooks here at Oktoberfest. From a driver's perspective, what are your thoughts about that?
I mean, it puts everyone on a level playing field for sure. You see guys pushing down their bodies and stuff like that. And obviously here, aerodynamics is huge, and you do everything you can, obviously, as a crew and as a driver. You want to know that, you know, you're going to be, you know, fast, obviously. But we got through. We don't have any templates or referees at our shop, but we got through the first night just little minor things that were no issues. And my dad was like, yeah, I was kind of nervous, and actually it turned out to be pretty good. So obviously my guys have a pretty decent eye for things, and but Ricky, he's a cool dude. I mean, he said something where we didn't know if he was joking or not, and then he was like, yeah, I'm screwing with you or whatever. So.
He's got that look on his face too.
Yeah, he's tough to read.
He's very tough to read.
You said something at the beginning of your answer there that everybody knows it's a level playing field now. There's no favorites. There's no, get it fixed by next time or anything. He says he wants it fixed now.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. And he gives you an opportunity to make it right and all that, which is obviously good. And like for up here, and not everything's, made sure that everything's to a T necessarily. I mean, yeah, like everyone, all the officials do a good job of making sure everything's good, but it's kind of hard. But when Ricky Brooks comes in, I mean, obviously the guy's been doing it, and he's very black and white, and that's a good thing. So, but yeah, he was saying how he likes Crown Royal, and Donnie Reaver is one of our friends who's been helping us out these last few years, and we've known him for a long time. He actually went out and just said, screw it, I'm just going to get him boxer, the whole Crown deal, how it comes in the bag and all that. And I'm like, well, what about me? No, but no, so it was.
What, does Reaver subscribe to the theory of why bring a race car to a party? That's a Conrad Jorgensen line, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know. I know Donnie, he's taken some time off, but I think I don't know if it was his hip or back, but when he actually drove my Uncle Dwayne's car at the Memorial race, he was saying how he was sore just driving around in the parade lap or the national anthem lap. And so, I mean, he's one hell of a driver. He's very nice, and he does everything he can to help us out. So, like I said, he's been a family friend for a long time, and it's fun, all the connections you make in racing.
Michael Ostdyke joining us here on 1460 WBOG, also on WBOG and the TuneIn app and Google1460.com. We're also live streaming our TV show at the same time on KQEGTV.com. So it's going to be kind of a weird opportunity for you for the rest of the weekend. Are you going to be down to the pits wrenching on somebody else's car? Are you going to be up having some suds in the grandstands? What does it look like for you for the rest of the weekend? Which we hate seeing. I know it's here on Saturday nights, and I hate when our regular drivers get into something and then they're on the hill for the next week, and we're going to hate seeing you roaming around.
Right. It's going to be one of those things where it's like, man, I wish I was out there. And but it's a fun atmosphere around here. You can have fun in anything that you do, and obviously if I want to be hungover tomorrow morning, I can be hungover tomorrow morning. So
Bill said that for the past 32 years.
Oh, God, you are legal age now too. We should point that out too, right?
Yeah, but I mean, in Wisconsin, it doesn't really matter, does it?
I like that. What a great response.
Spoken like he's some true Minnesota.
Well, and he goes to Iowa State on top of it.
Ooh, yeah. Cyclone. What's in store for 2019? Or I know a lot of drivers have gauged what they're going to do in the following year. They want to get through Fest first and enjoy everything. But what's on the horizon for you next year?
This last year has been this past season has really been a bad one. So we're really trying to bounce back, and I really love running with the tour, love supporting Greg, and the McCarnes family is very near and dear to us, with my grandpa promoting racing for Elko Speedway and Raceway Park back in the good old days. But I would love to keep running the tour. I think that for us, we need to kind of build a notebook a little bit more. It's kind of hard to get faster when you're trying to fix your car week in and week out. But yeah, I know I want to be running some super late stuff. Keep supporting the late model show at Elko, and for me personally, like, I love racing. This has been one of those years where it's kind of been mentally draining and exhausting, but we're not quitters by any means.
And at the same time, it's a learning thing as well, because Billy, you can attest to this, driving late model for 32 years. You've covered the sport for 30-some years, have announced for 30 years. This is a learning thing as well. You're not going to be successful and positive every single year you race.
Right. And, we've had a lot of good years. So the crappy thing is it's 2018, I'm number 18, and it's been the worst year.
Should have been your year.
Yeah, it was a bad omen.
And I think what happened was what happens most drivers who win their rookie of the year, they go into that little sophomore slump, and usually at year 3 they'll come back up and have a major uprising after that sophomore slump type of year.
Right, so that's what I'm hoping, obviously.
So what you're saying is we could see him on the stage next year at Oktoberfest.
I tell you what, he was almost on the verge of a great podium finish, if not a win, at Rockford Speedway, if he didn't have a little altercation with a certain black car. He was very stout. Probably, I think that was the first time he led some laps in the Arca Midwest Tour, was at the All-Star 100 back then.
Rockford's one of those tracks where a lot can happen. It doesn't matter if you're the fastest car. We were probably, I would say speed-wise, we were top 3 car.
Yep.
But stuff happens, and I did something I shouldn't have done, and ended up, facing the repercussions from it. So you live and learn, you move on.
Yeah.
So you talked about the speed that you had this weekend. It's got to give you confidence for next year. I mean, even though the car failed you got to have a lot of confidence going into next year.
Absolutely, and we learned a lot. We also had help from our neighbors. Dan Lensing was helping us out. Nasons were helping us out. Brian Johnson. It's just
keep putting those big names out there, man. That's a good group right there.
Yeah, and it was just getting down to the basics, making sure everything was just right, setting the bumps, setting the sway bar, making sure all the ride heights were good, and Thursday night, we thought maybe we had a bad tire because when we changed tires out, we were using those for practice on Friday and switched them out to our older practice tires, and we went out in 0.3 faster. So, but just we're really happy with the speed and how the car rolled this weekend. It's just obviously failure and makes us fail to advance. So it is what it is.
You know, one of the things I always talk about in my press releases and such is something that, especially with you and Justin Mondyke last year, was a quickie driver development program. There's probably a lot of people out here on the radio who probably don't know about that program. Could you just explain what that program is? Because you finished second last year, and what it did for you, what you had to do to be a part of that program.
Yeah, so the process itself is application-based. You get drivers from the East Coast to the West Coast up in Canada. Basically, it's promoting and keeping Alan Kulwicki's legacy alive. And in the previous years, it's been a really big push to get Alan into the Hall of Fame. And thankfully, obviously this was his year. But yeah, they do a great job of promoting the drivers. And also, in the same time, the drivers promote Alan, like I said, and help you out financially and with marketing and just PR stuff. And it was definitely a really neat experience for the 1 year, and to be a part of it for the second year was also pretty cool, especially because the first year I kind of let in a month later than usual. So. And
they treat you real well for a few days down in Charlotte, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
So talk about what you do down there.
Yeah, so basically you go karting the first night out. They feed you. Then the next day you go to Charlotte, take some pictures, and have a fun group shot. Then the banquet's the following night. And the first year, Kyle Petty was there, and then the second year, Bobby Allison and Mark Martin were there, and it's pretty cool. So now when I'm taking speech class at college, it's a flipping breeze, honestly.
All right, we gotta wrap the segment up. Michael, thanks for stopping by and joining us. And best of luck to you in 2019.
I appreciate that.
And go ahead now. You can get down on these.
Grab a plate over there.
These
grab
barbecue
some
wings. These are outstanding. They're pizza oven right down here in West Salem.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
No Michael, hope to see some good things out of him in 2019. More of the 49th annual Oktoberfest Race Weekend coming up next on 1460 WPOG.
Nice job. Grab a plate. Grab
nice
whatever
job,
you
man.
want.
My hand's kind of.
Oh, go ahead, dive in. Dive in.
Should we get Faye Hendricks on next?
Hey guys, could we actually get someone from?
We were trying to. He's down in the pits, and they've been texting him the entire show. We're trying to.
Thanks for doing that. No.
Well, it's Mondyke. Mondyke's
made
points for them this year.
There we go. Want to give me a plate?
Well, no, that's his family.
That's just his family.
Thanks, Paul.
Paul, give me a couple of those.
I was gonna be like, hey.
It'd be awesome to have him here.
Yeah, that was
that's
the
how
first
they
thing
do it.
I thought, but then I found out it was his family.
Oh, the family doesn't want to talk about it, type of thing, or?
I don't know.
Pineapple doesn't want it.
But we don't want pineapple on pizza, Paul. What's wrong with you?
Hey, pizza oven brought that, so we got about a minute now. All right, so just want to bring
These
it all
fuckers
back
are
on.
good.
Grab as much as you want, buddy.
There we go.
Don't be shy. You'll go hungry.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Is this blue cheese? Next ranch. Cool. All right.
Take it.
Did he announce the plans for Archon K&N?
45 seconds.
Caleb just sent me a text going, the plans for Archon K&N are stupid. I wonder if they announced something today. Let me look and see if I have an email.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab maybe one more. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot, Michael. Really
Thanks,
appreciate
brother.
it.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, have a good rest of your festival show. See you guys around.
Yeah, you will.
For everybody. This is unbelievable.
Kevin, good eye. Paul, we're going till 1:30, so we gained
Yeah.
half an hour.
That's what I heard Jesse say.
Daylight savings time, that's why.
You see any of our local drivers in here, get them.
Okay.
15 seconds, guys.
Oh my God, that's great pizza.
Okay, let's go 12 on this one.
12?
Yeah, get some time, right?
Yep. Is this yours, Bill, or not?
That's yours. This one's mine.
Got more people buying laps.
And we're back, AM 1460 WBOG. This is the Race Report, brought to you by Badger State Clean Water and Air, along with Kevin Ramsell, the PR director for the ARCA Midwest Tour. Tiny joins us again, Paul Reichert, and Billy Doc Niles joining us again. Tell you what, We're broadcasting live in the exhibition hall, the part of the 49th annual Oktoberfest Race Weekend. Also streaming live on KQEGTV.com. Both shows being knocked out here at the same time. And I really graciously want to thank all of our sponsors that have been with us on both programs now for the past 8 years. We've just brought on Pizza Oven this year. And let's see, we've already mowed. I haven't had a bite of the pizza yet. I'm going to get some of that. And we still have a little bit left over there. I'm going to hit a barbecue wing in a minute. Doc and I are huge when it comes to Parmesan garlic.
Garlic parm.
That just moved up my chart when it comes to wings.
It's in my top 3 now. That's
all right, so
delicious.
I forgot there was more. Never mind.
All right, so you're going to talk for a second because I have to try the pizza there, Kevin Ramsel.
You know, we got the ARCA Midwest Tour. They just had their first practice session earlier today, and I do have the practice times for you. I'll let you guys take one little guess at who was the quickest, the fastest in the 1 hour practice session for the Midwest Tour.
91.
You just you're really.
Wow, you're good. I was going to say Dan Fredrickson.
No, Ty Majewski had 18.760. That's 2.82 seconds faster than second place Nick Murgic, who was the second quick on to Michael Sauter, who ran great in the futures. And
he's been
he ran
this
trickle last night.
Tell you what, the second segment of the trickle last night, Ty Majewski gave him a shot, and Michael came back around and gave it back to him. I was talking with Michael and his father Jay in the pits this morning. And I said, Michael, congratulations on that. He says, and I didn't have to say anything else. His smile, totally, he knew exactly what I was alluding to right there.
He put on a heck of a show last night.
Michael Sauter ran here for a year when Jay was helping a wrench on him 5 or 6 years ago before he went to the Dells. I have to admit that Michael has come a long way over the past 4 or 5 years.
He could be a surprise Sauter for the 200 tomorrow. So,
yeah.
Paul Schaefer Jr. was 4th quick. Andrew Morrissey was 5th. Austin Nason, our corner point leader, has got that 2 points lead over Dalton Zier, was 6th. Johnny Sauter was 7th. Dan Fredrickson, like you mentioned there, Doc, was 8th.
Yep.
John DeAngelis Jr. Now, we know John DeAngelis Jr. got involved in a really bad wreck last night. His car's on. He's actually driving Austin Nason's backup car.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yep, so you'll see a 14 car on there. Just look for the lime green stick duct tape on the windows. That's how you can tell it's DeAngelo's car. He was actually up in the top 3 there for a while there when practice first started. Let's see here. He was 9th in practice. Casey Johnson 10th. He's now one of our top 6 within the 34 points going for the championship. Jonathan Island was 11th. Travis Sauter 12th. Skylar Holzhausen 13th. Chris Weinkoff was 14th. Nick Barset 15th. Dalton Zier. Everybody's wondering what Dalton Zier is. He did drive the 119 car. They did get the car fixed. They brought that on track. He was 16th in practice. He was only about half a second away from Ty Majewski, so that's competitive.
That's basically a rebuilt front
You were
end
down there last night. You saw the damage as he was coming into the pit. You were standing right next to his car.
I was standing right next to his car when they brought it in, and it was a mangled mess, but I couldn't really tell if they needed a new stub, but it sounds like they went to work and restubbed that car overnight and got her ready to go.
And then Mike Terry, who was their engine builder, came up here real early this morning to make sure the engine was fine.
Yep.
Caleb Folker, who helps out with the team, told me, he says, we weren't sure about the transmission, but it sounds like everything's fine on that. With that fact, actually, Dalton put in about 28 laps in that practice session, so I think that's a good sign there. Jacob Gady was 17th. Bubba Pollard, 18th on the charts. With that, he will admit if you go down and talk to him, he is struggling this weekend, and he's still trying to find that right setup for himself.
At the beginning of last night, I thought he might have had stuff figured out. He qualified inside the top 5 or 6 for the Dick Trickle 99. Started out really well, and then all of a sudden he just went backwards.
Yeah, he went backwards in a hurry. You know, and Ricky Brooks brought up a real interesting comment to me about Bubba, because if Bubba's struggling this year, it almost guarantees he'll be back next year.
That's good. That's good.
With it. So then Dylan Hammond was 19th, and Luke Fenshoff was finished out the top 20 in that. With it, we were trying to see about Justin Mondyke. He was 22nd on the time. One other footnote is Neil Knoblauch is driving Derek Krause's car today. Derek Krause is in the K&N race at Dover, which I believe got rained out last night, so they're running that today. So Knoblauch's in the car. Derek will be flying in. He should be here for the 200 tomorrow.
Now,
for that.
One question I got: we got qualifying for the ARCA Midwest Tour later today. What's the procedure? Who automatically makes it into the show, and how do they set the lineup?
Typically for the ARCA Midwest Tour, it's a top 16 in points, so I'll make the show. going in. There'll be points handed out with it. If you go to the Midwest Tour,
top 16 in qualifying or top 16?
Top 16 in qualifying going in. There'll be a qualifying races. If you want to give me 1 second, I just want to double check and see if there's not any change of rules on anything for this weekend. With it. You know how things go at Oktoberfest. Everything's a little different here at Fest with it. So while I'm doing that real quick, I think we should give a big shout out to NASCAR for allowing them to bring an air tightening up this weekend.
Yes.
I think we should talk about that for a second.
The last 2 mornings we've been woken up by the
what sounds like a tornado warning.
The jet dryer drying off the track. Practice would not be able to start on time without that jet dryer, so that's pretty cool. They brought that in this weekend.
What Greg McCarnes told me is that air tighten, the ones you see on TV, takes off that top layer that causes like the spray to happen, and then pretty much once that goes through, then it takes maybe about 20 minutes with stock cars on the track to get the track completely dry. Really cut down on time, big time this morning for that.
Again, broadcasting live again as part of the 49th Annual Oktoberfest Race Weekend on 1460. WBOG, Google1460.com, and the TuneIn app, which is WBOG.
Love the TuneIn app.
Oh, we had a stutter effect going on right there.
Why would you do that to us, Diker?
Coming up today, you can probably hear some of the Super Late Models practicing in the background. Qualifying is at 2:25. On deck today, I will be announcing the Big 8 Late Models, the Mid-Americans, and the Midwest Dash cars. ARCA Midwest Tour is going to be Marty Gallagher and Kevin Ramsell. Racing gets underway at 5 o'clock tonight. And we are going to talk about some of the point standings we've got going on here. We've crowned a lot of champions so far. The only champ, and correct me if I'm wrong, that will not be crowned at Oktoberfest is the Midwest Trucks.
I was surprised to hear that. They're going to stretch theirs out to the Dells race in, what is that, next week? Or
Following
2 weeks
is
from
2 weeks.
From today, yep.
Does that surprise you, Paul, that they don't crown it here?
Well, they did the same thing, I think, 2 or 3 seasons ago, wrapped up their season at Halloween. So, I don't know. I think they might want to do something a little different here.
Well, coming up tonight, we do have the Midwest Dash Series, and if you follow the series, like I have, of course, being their traveling announcer over the years, one name, Kyle Stark, was the one that always jumped out as being the guy to beat. Now, this year at Thomas Porter Speedway, it was Patrick Tickey who bounced alive and pretty much cleaned everybody's clocks. But now, the newcomer is Brandon DeLacy. Brandon DeLacy in his silver and red number 119.
I got some breaking news on Brandon DeLacy. He went up and smoked in practice. There was oil on the track.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that happened about 10:30, 10:45 when the Midwest Dash cars were on the track. He comes off of turn 4, big puff of smoke in the air. Parked in there. That could be a major game changer for tonight.
That now opens up the entire. This is like what we've seen throughout the weekend. Dave Trout snaps one motor, then snaps another motor, and opens up the entire Great Northern Sportsman Series feature from Friday night.
Basically, Basically, Trout was the one. He had the bullseye on him, and he was the guy to beat. And troubles on Thursday night, pops both motors, opens the door for Campbell last night to have the dominating performance he had.
We are loaded. I was down in the pits earlier this morning, and George Seliger is here. Josh Mazur is here. Tim Finstad here. George Sparkman is here. They are the rest of the top 5.
George Sparkman's always going to be here.
George has won Fest, I think, 3 or 4 times now that I've been their traveling announcer. Wayne Malsby is here. Phil Maloff is here. Scott Sishelski is here from Minnesota. Dave Oranger made the trek over, and his car is sounding outstanding. This Midwest Dash Series feature tonight is going to be great.
Well, let's not forget Phil Maloff started the weekend up by winning the double O
race, yeah.
And dominating.
And he heard my comment, or somebody was listening, one of his fans was in the grandstands, and I had made mention when you saw Phil coming out of turn 2, the man from Manitowish Rivers, Wisconsin. I said, 11 years ago, his car looked just like that. 11 years later, it looks just like that. Mark Bonitz came up to me and said, I heard your comment. He goes, what about mine? I said, ditto. So again, Midwest Dash Series, one of those that's going to be kicking off here tonight. Let's look at Jesse, see what we're looking at time. Do we have time to keep going on the segment? All right, we're good to go. Mid-American stock cars are going to be alive here tonight, and this is one of 3 series that James Swan is involved in. Of course, James Swan was with the Midwest Truck. You can eat your pizza, Paul. You don't have to just stare.
I've been eating.
We're live on radio. We can do this. James Swan last night, Midwest Trucks. Tonight he's in the Mid-American Stock Car Series and he'll be running a modified on Sunday. But Ron Vandermeer Jr. is the guy that's really opened up the big point lead, 29 points right now. This is going to be a loaded field as well here at Oktoberfest. Bill Preetzel. Everyone says Bill Preetzel's going to win this race. He's done it before.
He's done it before. Bobby Gutnick was probably going to be here. Ryan Gutnick, a lot of the famous names in the Mid-American Stock Car Series that we come to know and love will be here tonight. And Lyle Nowak as well, too. Lyle,
is there anything Lyle hasn't driven in his career?
I don't know. I don't know. He's one of the super nice guys. And usually if you go down there, you can usually find some Sprecher rough beer down there to get yourself.
Nice.
Yeah, some nice little stuff down there with it. It was really cool to see him one time win at the Milwaukee Mile. That was like for him, that was like his Daytona 500 when he won there. That was a real cool experience for him.
Big 8 late models. Boy, I tell you, we're enjoying this pizza oven pizza and these wings. What do you think? Thumbs up, guys. Rick Wilson, our station manager's child.
Happy
pizza.
birthday
Jesse, what do you think?
to you.
Yeah, it's Rick's birthday.
Yeah, we'll sing happy birthday to him in the last segment.
Yeah, he's 42 today.
All right, we do need to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk the latest breaking news here at Oktoberfest. Get you set up for tonight, get you set up for tomorrow, and talk Big 8 late models, which are going to be on deck tonight as well. That is Doc. That's Paul. I'm Dan Dyker. That is Kevin Ramsell. We're going to be right back with more of the program here live at the 49th Annual Oktoberfest Race Weekend on 1460 WBOG.
I was trying to wrap that tune in that thing, you know.
Well, he was staggering on us. Asshole.
Cool. Time's qualifying today, 2:30, 2:20.
You just said 2:25.
Oh wait, I'm looking for my pink sheet. 2:25. Yeah, we're straight. We're straight.
You just said it on the air.
Eat me.
You might, you never know. You might be making a pizza. We got a minute. What do you guys want to do with this one? Another 12?
Yep. Paul, go load me up.
It's top 16 by time.
A little variety.
And
Do
then,
you need some pizza, Doc?
I do.
Well, tell Jesse so he can get you going here.
Then there'll be qualifying races, 4 cars transferring to the feature, field position 17 to 20. Cars on transfer go last chance race.
God damn it, that's good.
Yeah, I was right, top 16.
Okay.
We'll jump into the Big 8s here next.
I'm going to see if Alexander's in the tower. The 16-year-old flagman. That might be fun to have him run down here and talk to him real quick.
Or even Marty. Or even Marty.
No, Marty's too boring. He's a 16-year-old flagman. That might be this.
We are back live at the 49th Annual Oktoberfest Race Weekend. This is the Badger State Clean Water and Air Race Report on 1460 WBOG. I want to welcome those people listening in the campgrounds on that WBOG TuneIn app.
Love that TuneIn app.
There it is, and CoolGold1460.com. Paul didn't say it that time. Take his pizza away from him. Punish him. Give it up the food.
Give it.
Again, we are in the exhibition hall. If you are out in the campgrounds, we'd encourage you to stop by and say hi. It's part of the memorabilia weekend in here. You know, it's kind of cool. As we were walking through before Pizza Oven supplied us with this wonderful food, Billy Doc Niles showed us, yes, there was a time in his life where he was thin. We were looking at old photos of him.
Those are from like 1970. Impressive.
1988, 1989.
Okay, so it was a couple years.
Hall where all the you have a garage sale. There's always that one free bin with
oh, here we
go. I like clearances. Oh,
wow.
that's outstanding.
Hey.
Done racing yet. They are in the Big 8 late model series tonight.
Oh, yeah, there was about, I want to say at least 7 or 8 lacrosse cars that ran with the Dick Trickle 99. Just basically what these guys do is they try and keep their spot in the pit so they don't have to move 2 or 3 times all weekend. So they ran in the back last night. kudos to Bobby Wilberg. I mean, that Stubby race last night, he almost stuck it in the top 3 there on, on junk tires, so kudos to him.
That was a real good finish in the Stubby race last night.
Yes, it was.
With Justin
side
Mondyke.
by side.
Justin Mondyke and Luke Fenhouse.
Yep.
What a great finish.
And the thing is, those two were in a spirit of battle throughout the year at State Park Speedway. A little controversy on their championship nights where Fenhouse won the championship, but it was where, like, man, with those two got together in turns 1 and 2, I'm like, oh, no.
Okay, looking at the Big 8 point standings as it stands now, Jeremy Miller is about to wrap this one up tonight.
And you know what? Speaking of wrapping up, he's about ready to wrap up his racing career. He told me yesterday. Yep. Jeremy Miller informed me yesterday that Oktoberfest will be his last race as a driver. I said, "What are you going to do?" He goes, "I'm going to go and have fun with my kids." He goes, "I might do." There's your plate there.
There we go. Look at that stuff.
No, Bell won't have to whine anymore. But Jeremy was saying that he might do, if he does anything more, he might do speed weeks at New Smyrna Speedway in February, and then after that will be it. But as far as racing in the Midwest, tonight is his last race. I said, were you pretty resolute on making this decision? He goes, yeah, it was a very easy decision to make, which makes it a lot easier for me to walk away.
You know, talking about that, we'll get back to the Big 8 here in a minute. Also learned this past weekend, a guy that Billy Doc Niles probably ran fenders with for a long time is also going to be hanging it up after 33 years of racing. Bangor's Todd Oliver is in his very last race tonight. They don't even think they're going to travel next year. He'll be in the Big 8 Late Model Series, and I'm sure you've got some memories of rubbing against Todd Oliver.
Todd and I started out, the old street stock class at lacrosse, the old hobby stock class at lacrosse. I've raced with Greg Oliver and Todd, and Todd's been one of probably the more consistent guys you'd ever run with, one of the nicer guys you ever run with. Never ever had a problem with him on the track. Great to race with because you feel confident. You know, he's there to race hard and race clean, and one of the best guys you want to talk to. Nicest guys on the track and off the track.
And his whole family, from mom and dad, who have had. We were talking about this in the pits earlier today, and I'm sure you've seen this at different tracks as well. The entire Oliver family has sat in the same area at the La Crosse Speedway for the past almost 40 years. Now they do it at Tomasparta Speedway, where I know exactly where they're sitting at. But you get a family that large where you've got Greg Oliver that now runs 3 series and runs a racetrack. And just the Oliver name itself, well known throughout the state.
It is, and kudos to Greg Oliver for what he did at Tomasparta Speedway. He made that track look like the track's been there for a long time, and there's been racing there, which was solid to do. His choice of track announcer is still in question, though.
That's why we were bringing Paul Reichert in. He was giving it a try this year.
I would be, if I was talking to Greg, if I had any advice, I'd tell him to change something in that area there to get more fans next year.
It just gives me an opportunity to eat more.
But I tell everybody, I say, what's so neat, and I give Jefferson Speedway down by where I live as a great example. Mass International Speedway, any track. There are people who come here to the track every week. They'll sit in the same spot. It's just like when you go to church every week. The same family sits in the same pew in the same section. And by goodness, if someone shows up and you sit in your section, you're going to get the dirtiest look. Yeah,
well, same thing with Go-Go Johnny Olson, former Sportsman Champions family. If they don't get those top 2 realms next to the concession area, it's go time.
Yeah, and get back on topic to Todd, though. It's a great career. I mean, he won a few features in the Sportsman division. I believe he only won 1 feature in the late model division. And he got to spread his wings out here the last few years and travel around with the Big 8 Series. Pretty much a mid-pack legend when it comes to the Big 8 Series. But still, I mean, he went out, he had fun, and he's going to end it this weekend. And congratulations to him on a fun and enjoyable career.
I just wonder, his main sponsor, Contractor Supply, I was talking to all those guys down there this morning when I saw that on Facebook. I'm like, so what are you guys going to do now? They all kind of like, I don't know. Blank stares on. They've been doing this for 33 years.
Is there any other hobbies I can pick up or something like that? Maybe I'll take up photography or something.
I don't know. And that kind of leads me into, Billy Doc Niles. Somebody came up to him last night. I've asked him this many, many times over the years. Do you miss it? Do you want to get back in? Billy jumped out after 32 years. You miss it?
Yeah, after 34 years, I do miss it. I mean, I miss being out on the track, having, racing hard side by side with someone. I still haven't got the itch to go work on a car yet. That's,
Right.
In the last, like I told you over and over again, the last few years, you know, the core of us that worked on the car, we all got different jobs. We could never get together. I made the last 2 years really hard to take. So
was it pretty easy for you to hand the keys over to the car per se to Jonathan Eckelberg this year after his bad wreck?
Well, there's a picture of me hugging the car as it went out the door.
See, he was hugging it. He told me he was pushing it, liar.
I'm sorry. It did not look like he was hugging it, but
I was hugging it as I was backing it into the trailer.
There we go. Just put his belly into it.
And a couple of people have asked me this weekend, would you get back into it? I said, yeah, if the situation was right, yeah, I'd get back into a car, but let it be known, I am not in there for a full-time ride. I'll run a couple, 3, 4, 5 times a year, but I have no desire to run a full schedule.
So you're basically saying you'll pull a Matt Kenseth?
Oh, no, I won't even go that far.
Okay, Dale Jr.?
There we go.
So again, Big 8 late models are going to be racing tonight. Again, Jeremy Miller is going to try to go out in style to try to get his unprecedented 5th Big 8 Series championship. John Reynolds Jr. is here. Brody Willett's here. I talked to Nick Egan. That's the other interesting thing about the Big 8 late models tonight is this is the tightest rookie point battle in Big 8 history between Nick Egan, Jacob Nottestad, and Grant Brown.
It is, and it's a neat thing because those guys run weekly at their tracks, and they come all the way up here. They had some. They ran last week at the National Short Track Championships, and then they come up here to settle it all right there. And those guys, like we said, when Greg McCarnes created the Big 8 Series, he wanted to make sure it was something where the guys can go run weekly. Every once in a while, we'll get together at a track and have a big event at the track. And most of the Big 8 events are at the end of the year types of shows like at Oktoberfest with it. And I think what really goes into the Big 8 Series is all these promoters working together to get the parity of rules together, so these guys can pretty much load up and go anywhere they want, and then come to a Big 8 race and compete.
You notice that Paul Reichert hasn't said a word during this segment because he's shoveling food in his mouth like he's eating out of a pig trough.
If he was a pro like me, he'd be taking bites then
like I do, and then you hide it in the back of your cheek and you keep talking.
You're seeing things, Dan. You're seeing things.
See, I can hear him crunching in the microphone.
You know what's more amazing? He does not have food on his shirt yet.
Oh, give it time.
Okay.
Phil's got some.
That's a crumb. That's a crumb. AM 1460 WBOG, also live online at KQEGTV.com. This is the Badger State Clean Water and Air Race Report, getting you ready for tonight's races. ARCA Midwest Tour. Who do you see? I thought maybe you saw him.
Yeah, I got a special guest coming in here. He's walking in the door right now.
Oh, this guy is. Paul, get out of here.
Bye, Paul. Take
Paul's
the food with you.
Paul's like, okay, I'm just going to go eat more food because it's free, man. I won't hang out with you guys at Oktoberfest, but I'll eat all your free food.
Have a seat right there. Put that set on, bud.
Is that how that's been, Billy? Goodness gracious.
Oh, yeah. Paul.
So we always talk about the behind the scene. Don't worry, we're going to eat while you were on here.
Yeah, we got
lunch for you as well, courtesy of our fine folks at the Pizza Oven.
You can have a wing.
You get to hear the announcers. You get to watch the guys drive. You get to watch Chuck Deary pace the grandstands left and right. We're going to put him on in the next segment right here because we want to get a full segment.
Yeah.
But there are some animated things you see at a racetrack, and you brought up, is it the ARCA Minute? What is Tom?
Tom White.
Tom White has got to be one of the most animated flagmen I think I've ever. Has he ever fallen out of a flag stand as animated as much as his body is going all over the place?
The best chance, and Alex will tell you this next break, the best chance for that to happen will be at this track here probably.
He's got the bend, he's got the leg shape going on, and we're going to talk flagman here in just a couple of minutes. We do want to thank our sponsors of the program. Of course, a Pizza Oven. They have supplied today's lunch. Paul Reichert, that's like the 7th time he's got back. Paul's good enough to eat our food but not hang out with us at Fest. His contract is done after next year. Jesse, we're going to bring Jesse in here in a couple of minutes. I also want to thank Big Boar Barbecue, Thomas Porter Speedway, Dean Satellite, Fansarena.com, and the Overtime Pub and Grill, your spot to go after Oktoberfest races. When we come back, we're going to talk flagging at Oktoberfest here in a couple of minutes on 1460 WBOG. See, that's why we can't have guests on. You're eating everyone's lunch.
You're still good. You're still here. You're on the next segment.
All right. The next segment's dedicated to you.
Yep. And this will probably be the last segment of the show, too, so you guys need to say goodbye.
Save the best for last.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want any pizza or anything?
He's got the wings right in front of him there.
What kind are they?
Those are the buffalo buffalo wings. We had some chicken parmesan.
Do you have honey barbecue?
He ate the honey barbecue ones. We got barbecue chicken pizza. Yeah, he'll take a barbecue chicken pizza.
And that is really, really good too.
Barbecue chicken pizza is really good.
Yeah.
You can tell it's good Wisconsin cheese on that. First thing when I bit into it.
Yeah, this is really good. You got to try this one out. I'll have some more after the show since we're only. Okay, where's our waitress at? Waitress!
He's too busy licking his fingers on everyone else's food.
Paul Reichert has finger looking good.
Waitress, get us out of here.
Come on, waitress. Man, that tip is not at the 20% level yet here, you know.
Well, I wasn't even counting two.
Want me to introduce him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll bring it back and just jump right in.
And then when we.
Thank you, Jesse.
What kind of pizza do you like?
The buffalo chicken.
He likes the buffalo chicken.
Or barbecue chicken. Yeah, that one.
Barbecue chicken. That's. You'll get it after the show.
All right. All right.
Oh, there's a starter for you.
Bring us back.
Okay. Welcome back. It's the Badger State Clean Water and Air Race Report here on Cool Gold 1460 WBOG. WBOG.com on the internets. And Kevin, where else can they find it?
On the TuneIn app.
And what do? We
love the TuneIn app.
It's actually coolgold1460.com.
Well, too bad.
Yeah, you took my notes away from
Bill's face is buried into this pizza oven pizza right here, which is simply
amazing.
All right, so we've had the Parmesan garlic wings, the buffalo wings I'm going to hit here in a minute. Did you have the honey barbecue?
I did. They were delicious.
He ate the honey barbecue. No one else got to try it.
No one
else got to try it.
I was going to say, let's recommend each one, the different pizzas we have here from Pizza Oven located on Highway 60.
Barbecue chicken is awesome.
I think the barbecue chicken is probably one of the best barbecue chickens I've ever had.
It is. It is really good. Good Wisconsin cheese.
Yeah, but our guest, bite into that real quick because we want you to give a testimonial.
Too, man.
I hope he gets all that chicken busted up. He's going to be picking his teeth up in a flag stand later on.
Yeah, that'd be really fun. You know what the funny thing is? We talk about all of the years we've been here announcing and or doing our PR work and stuff like that. We always see those little kids in the stands that have their own set of flags, and they try to mimic the flag man up in the flag stand.
I love that. There were two of them last night.
Two of them last night. This guy here was one of those kids. This is 16-year-old Alexander Gilhart. He flagged the Midwest Truck Tour series last night. He's also the assistant flagman for the ARCA Midwest Tour. This is the second year in the ARCA Midwest Tour. He's also the assistant flagman at Master National Speedway. 16 years old. And how did you get your break, Alex?
Well,
first off, what do you think of the barbecue chicken pizza?
Chicken. It's very good.
There we go. Okay. No, continue.
Yeah, you can.
So we were at Rockford, me and my dad, and I was flagging in the stands, and Greg McCarnes actually came up to me, and he said, when you're 15, give me a call, and we'll get you started. So that's what I did, and then he actually lived up to it, so that's how I'm here now.
So you turned 15 when last year.
Yep.
And I think your first Midwest Tour race was at Golden Sands, was it correct?
Yep.
Everybody's looking, who's this kid in the flag stand? Why isn't Tom White up there? What has been your experience so far, and what you've been just kind of relishing everything here with it?
Yeah, Tom White's been a really great mentor for me. I've learned a lot from him.
And then this weekend you got to meet Noel Dawson, who is the flagman for the SRL Southwest Tour. He's up here helping Ricky Brooks out with some of the teching as well.
He's the guy that eats kale salad, by the way.
Kale salad, yeah. Puts wheatgrass on
it. Well, then we don't want him on this show today.
No, he's not
one thing, I've announced it, I think, probably 15 to 20 different racetracks over 30 years. And one thing, announcers, we have our own style. If here we go. I brought that on years and years ago. Other announcers don't use that. Eric Henefeld from the Rockford Speedway, one of the best lines he ever had was, they're battling like a three-legged cat in a cat box.
Yep.
we just, you have your own style, and there's terms and phrases you use that nobody else steals. Flagman also, and Tom is very, very animated, is one of those, and so is Greg Oliver. Do you have a style yet where you don't want to, like, well, we used to breakdance if you don't bite my move. You can't bite Tom's moves in a flag stand.
Yeah. Well, I actually stole Tom White's line. 2 to go. Have you ever noticed that? He has the white and the checkered.
Yep, saw that. Yep.
Popsicle sticks,
yep. Popsicle sticks. I actually took that one from him, but don't tell him.
Okay, I won't. Tom doesn't listen to radio anyway, so you're fine.
So in your brief career flagging here, have you made a driver or two mad yet?
Oh, I'm sure I have.
And he's also done the Dirt King
Dirt
series.
King's late model series. Yeah, I've done out of Gamey County Speedway at Seymour. I've done the Plymouth Dirt Track and 141 Speedway. So.
Is this something you're looking to make like
a
secondary career out of, or maybe looking to help out in NASCAR at some point? Or?
I'm looking to be involved in racing somehow in my life. So
okay.
You know, the thing is with flagging, I've heard this from a lot of so-called fans in the past. Gee, what does it take to get up there and just have to know the rules and know how to grab your flags in the flag stand? It goes way beyond that.
Oh yeah. You gotta watch to make sure, because a car spins out, you gotta make sure you see that so other cars don't hit them, or you gotta like make sure they're not leaking oil or stuff like that.
He even waved off a restart last night for the Miller.
I was just gonna say that. We're like, hey, you go, boy!
And he was real adamant with the front row there, wasn't he? Because they weren't lined up there,
shoving them over.
Shake that flag at him.
Hey, have you found? I mean, you look at a race like Oktoberfest. You've got all the Sodders that are here, and the Majeskis, and the Carlsons, and Fredricksons. You ever have a front row where you got two drivers like maybe Fredrickson and Sauter that are very intimidating, that if you all of a sudden throw off the green and going to make them go back around, that they hear from you later on?
Oh, yeah.
Are you just like, hey, I'm a kid, leave me alone?
Probably came pretty close to the Dixieland 250 maybe. Well, you weren't the flagman, Tom was, but it's just be there up there in the flag stand to see what that view is with it. So is it pretty much your call when who does that, or is it more the race director that does that?
Well, I'd say it's probably 50-50. Okay. So
now, how many times do you not agree or do what the race director's piping into your ear? Because there may be times when they tell you to throw a caution or throw a black or throw the green back, and I mean, there's a lot of times when a flagman's going to go, no, I'm just going to do my. I don't agree with you.
Well, I listen to the race director just because they're making the calls. So
now you listen to Drew, or do you listen to the pro Mr. Garbers?
Drew last night I was listening to.
All right, now you just stepped backwards 2 years in your training, my friend.
So are you going to be in the stand with White this weekend?
Yep,
okay,
I'll be up there.
So you both be up there, so people get to see you in action.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, he just got done flagging the practice session.
Yep.
Tom is really involved in helping out with the teching area during pre-tech and things like that, and then helps out with different areas throughout the night. So pretty much this year it's been Alex has been doing the practice, qualifying, and the preliminary races, and then Tom comes up for the big ones. So
Tom steals the spotlight then.
But Alex, because Nick Schumacher is our race director, believe it or not, is trying to be some kind of a pro golfer. we're still shaking our head at this. Had to go to Myrtle Beach for some kind of pro-am golf competition, try and get some kind of PGA card. Missed our show at the Dells Raceway Park, so Tom went up to the tower to become the race director. And guess who flagged his very first
ARCA Midwest?
Yep.
All night long.
How cool was that?
That was cool. And I'm not going to brag, but we only had one caution in that
That's
feature.
right.
That made your job easy.
Yeah.
Have you ever thrown a flag that you really wish to God you would have never thrown yet? Maybe an inadvertent green, or maybe an inadvertent yellow, or an inadvertent black.
Yeah, I've thrown the yellow because I thought the car wasn't going to get going after they spun out, and then of course as soon as I threw the yellow,
it's a miracle.
Going. Yeah,
right.
It's amazing. The color yellow just makes the car start.
How about black?
Well, I just heard that from
Bill,
a
you do that, Bill.
Just once.
How many black flags have you given out now?
Less than 10. And
what's the coolest one you've given out? You're like, yeah.
Well, probably when they weren't listening, they were blocking, something like that. but probably 90% of the black flags I've thrown have been mechanical. So
if there was a black flag you wanted to give out to somebody during Fest, who would it be?
I'm not going to answer that.
Come on. Give me back your pizza. Give me back your pizza. You're done.
He's done with the food.
You're done with the food. So.
I think it would be cool to DQ to black flag Johnny Sauter.
Ty Majeski up here.
Oh, man. Or Danny Frederickson.
Oh, why not just give it all to him there?
That would be way cool.
I think Danny would get out of the car and come up to the flag stand on him, I think.
He'd park it on the front stretch.
Sauter would just kind of take his ball and go home. But, well, I'll tell you, it's nice to see a young and prominent flagman getting his feet wet here at the Lacrosse Speedway for Fest.
You did not know about him last night until I told you about him on the PA.
I kept looking in the flag stand going, okay, now that's a small guy up there. But he never turned around, so I couldn't really see who. I thought it was Drew at first because Drew's got the same kind of a body frame he does.
Yeah, but at the end of the night, though, he acted like he knew what he was doing up there, and he's been up there for a long time. He looked like a veteran up there, didn't he?
We were commenting on you several times last night, and all of a sudden you would make some kind of a move or, tell the cars that get going, bring the tail in. I'm like, oh man, I like this.
They're going to make a bigger star out of you than you already are.
Yeah.
Either that or he's getting fired after he gets off the radio show.
Yeah, I see Brian down here who's probably going to sit there and say, get out of here, Alex.
All right, 3 minutes left in the program, and we appreciate him stopping by. Again, we are going to be doing qualifying here in just about an hour. The schedule, Big 8 late models, ARCA Midwest Tour, Mid-Americans, and Midwest Dash Cars, and the program tonight. Now, we do have rain in the forecast for tomorrow. Kevin has talked to both Jeff Garbers, our race control director. He's also talked with Chuck Deary, and he's also talked with Greg McCarnes. What do you know?
Everything's still on schedule for tomorrow.
Thanks for coming, folks.
And we can't predict it. The weather's very unpredictable.
Right.
We looked at Friday, the Friday's forecast. We know what
we weren't supposed to rain yesterday, or we weren't supposed to race yesterday.
Yeah. Friday was supposed to be a complete washout for us, but we got the full show in. We made a few minor adjustments with the schedule and everything, but we got the full show in. I know tomorrow the main primary focus will be the Oktoberfest 200. My recommendation is to Jeff Brown and to everybody else out there, be here at noon tomorrow.
Not 8 o'clock, Jeff Brown.
Not 2 o'clock or anything. Be here at noon tomorrow because I will tell you this. If the promoters feel that there's rain coming and they got that window and the field is set for that 200 lapper,
gone.
12:01, we could see the green flag for the 200 lapper. So I'm going to tell the fans, come out early tomorrow, enjoy the autograph session, come out and have some pancakes with us, and then sit in your seats because we're going to go racing, and who knows what that schedule is going to be tomorrow.
And not only are we going to crown a Fest champion, but there is a points battle like you've never seen before.
Top 6 separated by 34 points, and we're going to see some movement today and tonight with qualifying and the preliminary races as we are handing out points in both those races tonight.
Again, racing starts at 5 o'clock tonight. Again, we have ARCA Midwest Tour prelims, Big 8 late models, Mid-American stock cars, and Midwest Dash Cars. Want to thank all the sponsors for helping us out. I want to thank Pete's Oven for supplying lunch. I'm going to go dive into that other box here in just a second.
Oh, we got a box left?
For Paul Reichert and Billy Knock Niles, myself, Radio Man Dan Dyker, the PR director for the ARCA Midwest Tours, Kevin Ramsel, Jesse, and what's that birthday boy's name?
Rick
Wilson.
Rick. Former NASCAR driver, Rick Wilson.
Happy 29th birthday, Rick.
Want to thank them all for helping us out with the program. We will be going till the end of October with the show, so next week's going to be a lot of stuff
Can
here.
I call in after that?
From the 49th
There
annual
won't be any time for you.
Oktoberfest. Right. Thanks for joining us on 1460 WBOG and KQEGTV.com.
Nice.
Yay!
Hey, Brian, you want some pizza?
Don't stutter. That was a simple yes or a no. There was no